Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Grace Tuttle, and I am a children's author and a poet who grew up in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And I'm here today to talk about why I love gardening and why I love nature, and to support the fact that everybody deserves to garden. So, growing up in Cambridge, I found great joy in the nature all around me, whether it was dandelions or parks. My gardening growing up was mostly in window boxes, and I grew herbs for my family to eat, and we loved it. We loved eating them, and we loved growing them, and it was a great source of joy and comfort for me growing up, and it still is today. So I believe that in nature we can always find something we need. Nature has an endless capacity to give, and I find inspiration in that. I find inspiration in knowing what to give at the right time in the right place, and that's what nature teaches us. And gardening is a part of being in that conversation with nature about giving. You know, in gardening we grow things for us, for our eyes, for our hearts, for our souls, for our bodies, to nourish us in every way. And what we grow also helps nourish nature. Whether we're growing something like, we planted this goldenrod for bees, and it survived the drought, and it's going to sleep for the winter. So sometimes we might give something back with our gardening to nature, and sometimes we might grow what we need, and that might help make the soil healthier. Gardening is a conversation between us and nature, and it's a healing conversation, and it's a hopeful conversation, and it's one that everyone deserves the chance to participate in. So Tony asked me to read a poem today from Hidden City, Poems of Urban Wildlife. This is my book of children's poetry inspired by nature in and around Cambridge that I took joy in growing up. And I thought that I would read this poem. It's called Sunflower Buffet, and this is the illustration. And what better way to talk about how gardens can nourish us than by talking about sunflowers in this poem. So, here we go. Sunflower Buffet. Sunflower pollen and seeds can feed ant, fly, moth, bee, butterfly, sparrow, squirrel, me. And I think it's so important to remember that what we do in our community gardens, what we do in our home gardens and our window boxes, impacts so many people and so many creatures and so many things in the world that we might never get to see. We might never notice that a butterfly is helping us to pollinate our flowers or helping us to grow our food by pollinating things. But they're there, and the impact that we're able to give them is real. So the other poem that I wanted to read today, it's a poem I wrote specifically for today. It's called Mycobacterium vaccae, and it's based on a real thing that lives in the soil, and you'll learn about it as I read this poem. It's called Mycobacterium vaccae. Sigh the name of life in soil, invisible life, gifting us joy wrapped in serotonin, the antidepressant our body makes when our bare hands dig into dirt and touch it. Mycobacterium vaccae, that precious, vital vaccine against the sorrows of now. Why do you keep it locked away from us? Why do you demand that we yearn over fences at untended land? Our 14 community gardens are our 14 community health clinics. And who are you to hoard medicine when there is a line out the door? So thank you so much for having me, and everybody deserves to garden. Thank you.